Hello everyone, this is Mascot, and this is my first video, and I thought I would go and give you a little tour of ScarWorld Season 5, my builds on here. For those that don't know, that is the Good Times with Scar Patreon server that I play on. So we're going to start off here in my store in the shopping district. So my store here, normally what I've been doing every season is selling turtle eggs and shells. So this year I decided to just make it everything green to kind of expand out the inventory a little bit here. And I've created, it's a pretty simple store, nothing too crazy, but it gets the job done and I've made quite a few diamonds. I believe I actually wrote a book on here. Ah, yes, I wrote a book about the color green. I'll take a little fly around the shopping district so you can kind of get an idea of what it's like on our server. Generally gets to be pretty big. We have quite a few players that, at least in the beginning of the season, it usually ends up getting down to a couple dozen by the end. But there's always a lot of good builds, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I've been lost in here for hours trying to find stuff. Here we are at the Nether Hub for this season of ScarWorld, and the Nether Hubs are generally super awesome builds. I'll just do a quick little walkthrough. I'll kind of show the upper parts of it here first. And then I'll do a second loop around because they built stuff way down underground as well here. As you can see, I did a glass floor and there's lots of awesome stuff down below here as well. Pretty crazy builds anyway. I'm going to keep heading down. Here we are in the beginning of where Bamboo Bay is, which is where I decided to make my home this season. This is our nether portal area. A bunch of the other local residents put this together and did an amazing job. There's a little area to walk through, a little secret cave behind our portal. So this is our shared storage area created by another one of our residents here. This place turned out really nice. And then all the residents here, we've gotten together on a few times and worked on this. We're doing some excavation sites here. The idea of Bamboo Bay being it's a land of mystery and wonders to find. And we happen to be in a jungle as well, which is really nice. I made this little tent here. I was sort of thinking of Indiana Jones when I did this, and our stack of beds from when we were working here. But basically, this holds a map of Bamboo Bay that I set up for everybody here. Over here, where my cursor's at, is where spawn is. This area here is where my base is. So I got a nice view of the area down here. Another thing one of our residents started was a tree of knowledge where we could put books. So I created this book, as you can see right out there between, out in the water there is a little sea monster, and I wrote this book about the sea monster. I'll give everybody a second to read through it here. Thought that could be kind of fun, add a little extra lore to our area over here. Uh, we've got our nice bamboo statue. And then this little path here, you can take this and it will take you around to where my base is at. So here's a view of my base from across the water here a little bit. So one of the first things we needed here in Bamboo Bay was an XP farm, and I happened to run into a skeleton spawner. So I created this build, and I created another book with some lore in it for it, kind of describing the first time I ran into the spawner. Then down we go. And I made a little crypt that apparently has a chicken. My idea here was to have like little areas that could be little shrines to different people or whatever we wanted to do here. And then down here at the end is where the actual spawner is at. You can kind of see it out there in the glass here. It's pretty dark and creepy. I kind of thought this build turned out really nice. All right, so leaving the skeleton farm, I was building what was going to be a fishing hut, but at some point we had had ideas of having some kind of like a cannibal village or something over that way. So then I thought this could be an area where you could do boat tours out to that village to see. I think we still need to work on that though. So the idea for this area was that an explorer came through, built a house for himself out here that he was going to use as his base, and then he would have this whole area to kind of adventure around. And he set this base up right next to this little ruined temple here. This is my little lava area where I get rid of unwanted items. And down below, it was going to be a little temple to some cats. Uh, this is the cat plushie that looks like actually my cat Kevin, but it's also the jelly. And then down below here, this is where my moss farm is at. This works all right. It's not probably not the greatest farm, but it definitely gets the job done. And coming out to here, this is where I had an area where I thought he would of course have to have a hot air balloon. As an explorer, why would you not have that? And if I fly up here onto the hot air balloon, I have to fly around again. I built a little statue. I still got to put armor on it, but it is a little thing of Scar. Then down over here is where my enchanting setup is at. Some storage for various books and things. Part of what I was imagining for this whole entire land is that there would be some sort of a magic through the land that helped create all the strange wonders. So what I did was I actually built a big giant magical crystal over here in a little area where it was growing up in the ground here. Thought that was kind of neat. I'm going to put a little book over there to kind of tell a bit of that story. Over here is where I decided to make a place for the cows and turtles down here. This is where I also hatch my turtle eggs to make the helmets and stuff. And down below here is the old basement here. And down here in the basement, this was my mud making machine. This thing I won't say is the best, but again, it gets the job done. And I made a little book of lore for this here as well. And then over here is where the goo was supposed to get sucked up and put in the machine, I guess, to power it. Kind of a little fun hidden farm down here. And that brings us inside the house. Here's my little dining area. Uh, some of the work of other fellow Scarians that make up those. They do some incredible stuff with those. When we first come in on this side, we have a little living room area where I have all my birds. Over here we can kind of jam out a bit. My kitchen. Nice, simple. This is one of my pretty good build. I enjoy the build that I made here. Here's my storage area for this here. It probably could be bigger. Definitely was running out of some space here and had to actually come in here and put all these barrels for the extra stone and other bricks that you always end up with a ton of here. But here's a little crafting area and smelting and things like that. A little small Scar plushie hidden in there. Come up, we get onto the next floor up here that has a little sitting area, a nice little fire, read a book or something here. And you come in here, which is the library. Here's the explorer himself. At some point I need to write up a book to put in there to tell more of his story. My view of the bay, including the Bam Bam out there, as well as my brewing area. Now we can continue up the steps a little further. This takes it up to the bedroom area I made. I was pretty happy with this. It's simple, but it turned out really nice, I think. Staircase, I do this about 1,000 times, gets a little bit annoying, but I'll do a little fly around the bay and kind of show off the rest of the build here from above. Overall, I was really happy with how this area has turned out and everything else here. It's a little bee farm with the little fish that Bam Bam left after he kind of smashed the stone bricks off there. And here's some of my neighbors, and then the rest of Bamboo Bay continues out from here. Overall, this is a really fun build. I definitely enjoyed making this house. It's one of my favorite houses that I've built here in Minecraft so far. I don't have any kind of gigantic build this season. I just decided to keep it a little smaller and do a bunch of smaller buildings, kind of help mix it up a little bit. But I think it turned out very nice. Thanks for coming along on a tour with me, and I hope you enjoyed my build here on ScarWorld.